coming to the ceremony this evening. It will be brief so you guys can go ahead and celebrate this huge accomplishment. If you guys can all rise and help me welcome Paramedic 33. Again, I want to thank you guys for coming out this evening. It's such a big deal for us here at Orlando Medical Institute to celebrate today with this group of students. They go through a whole year, if not a little bit more, of studying, class time, clinical time that they'll never get back. Just a lot of sleepless nights, stress, whether they're stressed about something going on here at the school or at clinical. But I'm very proud of them because there's not a lot of paramedics in the state of Florida, and the reason is because the course is not an easy course. The time alone and the commitment that's required to complete the course, only the strong can make it through there. There are many EMTs in the field, and God bless them because we need them. However, we do need these paramedics to go the step above to provide that advanced care that EMTs cannot. So thank you guys for choosing Orlando Medical Institute because for me and my husband Felix, we own the facility and it's a personal thing for us when people choose to come here. So our heart is involved with your time here. And when you get to this point, it just makes it all the more that, holy cow, they picked here and they succeeded. We have a great pass rate in the state of Florida, so I know that all of you guys are going to do super well. This is just the first step, because from here you're going to be preparing to take your state exam, and then the real life begins when you're actually out in the field providing care. So thank you. You will help me welcome Reverend Rosario Milan, who is going to do
about 3 people that graduated then, and they have pictures ever after that. You know, how when more students join. Now every time I see a fire truck or the ambulance or anything, I'm looking to the in my car. I'm trying to look to see if I see any of the students, but there's so many that I know. But congratulations. I would pray because I think the first thing we should do every day. That's the first thing I do every day when I get up, is thank the Lord for another day. Amen. Let us pray. Almighty God, you are our creator and our sustainer. You are our light and our fortress. You are our wisdom and our strength. We ask for your guidance and your guiding hand to lead us through this graduation. Paramedic class number 33. May we approach our tasks with wisdom, and may we approach our graduates with respect and honor. Thank you for giving us this beautiful day to celebrate. We ask these things in your powerful name of Jesus, and we all said, Amen. Thank you.
I'd like to now ask Felix Marquez, who's going to be speaking on behalf of himself, and just to add, because Mike Islop was your main instructor, but he's actually on shift today, and he wanted me to tell you guys that the tension is over, and he wishes you a lot of luck. Kid.
I wrote a few words how to do that, but something told me today that maybe I should. But I want to first, thank everybody for coming out, celebrating Medic 33's graduation. It took a lot from you guys, so it took you guys away from your families, a whole lot, as well as you from your families. So today is the day that I give them back to you, and you keep them, and hopefully you guys will come visit. I also want to take a moment to thank my staff for a job well done, for the hard work they put into the program. That's what makes it successful, and they do a lot of behind the scenes. Sometimes a lot of things that you really don't even pay attention to, but those things is the oil and the WD-40 that keeps this program working. So Abigail, my wife, and also the Director of Operations, who oversees the whole school and makes sure everything runs on a day-to-day. Sarah Glass, who's a phenomenal clinical coordinator. She makes sure that you guys are doing what you got to do to meet the criteria and now the new standards when it comes to going out there and being a paramedic. You've got Lisa, who's recently with us, who gives you a smile every morning, hopefully. She comes here. And Mike Islop, special thanks to Mike Islop, who's their main instructor. Unfortunately, he couldn't be here today. He was trying to get a time swap. He wanted to reschedule the graduation today. That was his objective. That's what he was pushing for, because he really wanted to talk to you guys. But he dedicated a lot of his Saturdays. As much as you dedicated, he dedicated as well. So he's very proud of you guys as well, as much as I am also. So today is a very special day. It marks the last day of paramedic school, but also marks the first day of an exciting career as a advanced provider out there in the field. So very important to understand that today is the beginning, really, of your career. So there's a lot to come from here forward. So today should be actually the first day of learning. So when you go out there and you be a paramedic, you're working out in the field, you learn from senior guys out there and what needs to do, and you'll learn from patients what to do and what not to do. To the family and friends, I just want to let you know that what your loved ones been through in the last year. They endured 1,146 hours of clinical lecture and lab. And if I break that down, they did about 346 hours of putting their butts in the seat and listening to Mike Islop and myself talk for a long time. So that's a lot. So I commend you just for that. And 200 of lab time. You go in the labs, whether we do simulation or skill task training. We did 200 hours of that with 600 hours of clinical. And I know clinical was the beast. It was a lot because it was outside of classroom time. You had to find time in 1 year to find 600 hours to go out there and do what you have to do. So that's 1,146 hours, and I commend you for that completion in 1 year. Not everybody can do it. So you guys have done that, so I want to commend you guys on that. I will also, you guys have children in your laps, but I would like for you guys to stand up, turn around, and applaud your family for dealing with the stress and not having it. All right, you can sit back down. All right. So as a paramedic, you made a decision. You're going to make decisions out there whether a patient can live or die. That's going to be put into your hands as a paramedic. So it's something we need to take very serious. As myself, as a paramedic, I do it every day and I take it serious every day. It drives me every day to help people. I've been a paramedic for over 20 years. And it's something to this day, I'm just as passionate as the first day I sat in that seat and graduated paramedic school. So it's very important. The day you lose that passion is probably the day you need to retire or find a new career, because people's lives depend on what you do. Unfortunately, people can't pick or choose who takes care of them, but you can pick or choose whether you want to take care of them, and I mean the right way. All right, so very important to take what you've done and what you've learned very serious and apply it to out there. So you've been trained, you know exactly what to do. You're going to learn a whole lot when you go out there in the field. So on that note, I want to share a quick story, and the story of my life and what changed me to become so passionate as a paramedic. If you haven't heard my story, but a long time ago, just a few years ago, we could say that. Same but different. I got into this field by accident. I got into this field because I got out the military and I couldn't find a job. So I had an uncle who worked for a private ambulance company that said, "Hey, you want a job?" I was like, "You picking to pay me?" Yeah, sign me up. I'm in. I didn't care how much you paid. If you want to know, I was making like $4.75 an hour. Very excited that I was making that much money back then. So, but I was just happy to have a job. I didn't care to be an EMT. I didn't care to be a paramedic. What I was an MVO, a motor vehicle operator. My job was just to drive the ambulance. The guy sitting next to me was the EMT. So he took care of the patients, and it was my job to get from point A to point B. So I met a young lady during that time who she, I guess liked me, I liked her, but there was a big hiccup. The hiccup was the father was a pastor, and she wasn't really allowed to date boys. So, but they saw me in the ambulance, and they said, wow, this guy saved lives, you know. And her father said, well, I guess in his mind, he says, well, he kind of does what I do. I save lives through ministry. He saves lives medically. This is a good kid. So they assumed that I was an EMT, nor did I deny or confirm. But I went with it. Then finally one day, so they allowed me to take his daughter out on dates here and there. You know, obviously I had to bring her back home before the street lights went on, and I had to take the brothers and sisters. So I had to take the whole family if I wanted to take the daughter out. So it was cool, it was an opportunity. And then one Thanksgiving, they invited me over to have Thanksgiving and meet the whole entire family. Pretty excited. This is the day I was getting the blessing, I guess. Or the axe, one or the other. So, but either way, I went to the house for Thanksgiving, met the family, introduced me to a lot of the family, but shortly, by short time being there that day, they called, hey Felix, in a panic, you need to come over here. So I run over there, and when I run to the kitchen, it was a grandfather that had a massive heart attack and went into cardiac arrest. He died right there. And they called me to resuscitate. Well, I don't know what they expected me to do because I really was clueless. Because I was the NVO. I was the guy who drove. If you put him in the car, I could take you to the hospital. That's about as far as I can go. So I started saying to myself, holy cow, this is not a great time to let them know that I'm not an EMT. So, good thing I remember, call 911. So they called 911. I remember they were on the phone and they said, yes, he's an EMT, he saves lives. And I'm like, oh, yeah. So they said, they want to know if he has a pulse. I remember my partner checking the pulse of the neck, so I figured if I grabbed the whole entire neck, I will feel something. So I grabbed the whole neck and I started thinking, this is the worst part, that if I tell them no pulse, they'll get here quicker. That's the biggest myth, right? So I said no pulse. And they were like, yes, yes, he knows. They said start CPR. I feel a pulse, but tell them to hurry up. Why? Because I didn't know CPR. So long story short, grandfather passes away. But the father and the family were very thankful that I was there. And a man of God and a family of God, they believe in faith and believe things happen for a reason. And me being there was the opportunity for that gentleman to live or die. And you want to talk about want to play in traffic. I was ready to go play in traffic. Like, this family is praising me and I did nothing. I'm an idiot. I wanted to hang myself. But anyway, that man had changed my life. Because that second, when I walked out of there, I knew exactly what I wanted to do. I wanted to go to EMT school. I wanted to save a life. That was the worst feeling of my life. And that's why when I get crazy with you guys, and you're like, God, Felix, why do you get so crazy with me? Because you don't know what it feels to be incompetent. And when a patient needs your help, you don't know what to do because you just didn't have the tools. I felt that day. And that day, that gentleman died today to set my path. And what I do now, I own the school, I teach paramedics, I became a paramedic, but that man to the day drives my motivation every day when I get up at 2 o'clock in the morning, I'm tired from running call after call. And I say to myself, God, why I do this? That moment, I see that gentleman who passed out, who died in front of me, say, that's why I do this. Because I want to give everybody the opportunity. I say now, not that I'm cocky, I say now that, man, people are lucky that I'm in your house. Because I'm going to give you every opportunity because I advocate for you. That's what I do. And that person I'm talking about today is my wife's grandfather. My father-in-law came up here. It was his dad who died in my house. I never shared the story for about 20-something years. I was so embarrassed of my story. I was so, I didn't want to share with nobody. Nobody knew my story. So one day, I don't know, I decided to share it with a graduating class, but one hiccup, I forgot to tell my wife the story and I was going to share it. So when I shared the story, she turned around and was like, you killed my grandfather. Not directly, but anyway. So, long story short, when it comes to that is, you know, when you go out there, and the moral of my story, when the learning point for me was when I experienced that was, I gotta make sure I master my craft. I gotta make sure that I know my job. And it's real easy, as some of you guys already work in the field, it's real easy to go out there and want to treat people like if they're inferior to you because you get tired of the super users. The guys who call all the time that abuse the system. Not everybody abuses the system, so we can't treat everybody the same way. But whether they abuse the system or not, they call in because they need help. People who call 911 are not healthcare professionals. So something as simple as a fever, well, to them, that's an emergency. So what do you do? Provide the education, provide the knowledge, and take care of them. Do what they need. So on that note, I want you to remember 4 things. 4 things that's going to bring value to people. All right? 1, or bring value to yourself. Is 1, value people. Number 2, make yourself more valuable so people can value you. Number 3, connect with people. And the most important of all, do what God values. And people will value you, and you will value people, and you'll do the right thing all the time. Remember, it's our job to advocate for them. So remember this. You're not going too far in life based on what you know today. But you're going to advance in life based on what you're going to learn after today. So I'm going to close out with this last saying, which I like it. It's a phenomenal saying because as paramedics, man, we're warriors out there. We hit the battlefield every day and we deal with the unknown. We never know what we get into out there, but we learn how to adapt and overcome. So Hercules he said this one thing in battle, which I thought was phenomenal. It says, out of every 100 men, 10 shouldn't even be there. 80 are just targets. 9 are the real fighters. And we are lucky to have them, for they make the battle. But one is a warrior, and he will bring all others back. So I thought that was a phenomenal, because that's what we do out there. We're out there. We're going to go to battle. We're going to fight. We can't depend on everybody. You got to depend on who? Yourself, to do the right thing. So when you get that partner who wants to slack, be that warrior and do what you got to do. All right? Once again, congratulations, and I'm going to turn this back over to Abby.
I'm sorry, it's not listed on our program, but each class, at the beginning of the program, is assigned a class leader. And sometimes the class leader will rescind their position because dealing with a group of students, especially paramedic students, and all that you have to endure, they tend to want to quit shortly after the position is given to the student. The position of the class leader is kind of a liaison between me and the class, because I have to deal with so many different classes, so I'll just be dealing with one student and they'll get the message across the board to the rest of the group. But it's a big, big task to carry that burden, because they get it from both ways. Either I'm getting crazy because I need something from the class, or the class is getting crazy on her because I didn't do something. So in this class, the class leader was Tracy Farmer, and I'd love for her to come up and say a few words to you.
Thank you. I quickly volunteered to be class leader because I'm kind of a micromanager, and I was afraid something was going to happen. I wouldn't be in the loop. And little did I know what I was getting into. Then as she said, I ended up being in the loop way more than I wanted to be. I tried to keep in perspective when I signed up for this class because I knew that it was going to be every Saturday, once a week, and I thought, well, that's good. That's 52 Saturdays, so that's how I kept it in perspective, and I know that everybody heard me refer to that with 52 Saturdays, so many Saturdays, 50, 48, 35, counting down, and we did great. We all came together as a group of strangers, and by the time we were done, as we look at the families that are here tonight, we feel like we know you because we've discussed you. We've increased in size, actually. There's been 4 additions to our group. Well, the last 52 weeks have transpired. We've had 4 births throughout the families, which is amazing. So we've experienced all this together, and each one of us has our own personality, and we've come to like that. A few things that stand out are that the group text. Nobody had any idea what a group text could do to somebody, and 10 o'clock at night, somebody wanted to start studying or ask a question, and the group text would start going off. And I remember one time Jose said, "It's 10 o'clock, guys, can you please go to sleep? Some of us have to work tomorrow. Some of us were studying." There was more than once, "Jack, go to bed." "Jack, please put your phone down and go to bed. Stop overanalyzing it." So if it weren't for Mike Hislop, our lead instructor, I guarantee a majority of us wouldn't be here. When we felt like our train was going to derail, and we were certain it was derailing, and we had our bags packed and we were ready to jump off, woosah. How many times did we hear woosah? Just woosah. He knew that it was going to be a rough ride, and he knew, and he reaffirmed to us that everything we were going through was a natural process, and if we would just sit back and relax, it was all going to work out in the end. And he's right. I think he's laughing at us tonight. He's not here, but I think he's laughing because we all have this sense of relief that it's over. But I really think some of the hard work's just getting ready to start because we all have different paths to follow. So this is really just the beginning. We might have a moment of relief, but the hard work is still ahead of us. It was a pleasure to be the class leader, and thank you for everything that you contributed, and I'm honored to be a part of your group.
I was in that group text and then I got blocked.
We left that part out. There was some technology.
There's some information that you don't need to know.
We were a family.
On that note, thank you, Tracy, for all of that. You've done a wonderful job. I appreciate you for that. We're going to move on to giving out the certificates, but before I get into the graduate certificates, I have 2 certificates to hand out. One is for class valedictorian, and the other is for most improved. And we'll go with the most improved because they put in more work than the rest of the group. For some people, and that's just the way of the world, they sometimes don't even have to open a book. They kind of just get this kind of stuff. And lucky them. The rest of us have to kind of put in the work and study some more and kind of do the group text to better understand what's being read and so on and forth. And then there's some of us that we're just not sure. Even as administrators at the school, we kind of feel out our students when they start school, and I'm like, oh, he's not gonna make it. It's not gonna work out. Or she, it's not gonna make it, it's not gonna work out. And then there are those who come through, they persevere, they put in the work, and they make it here. And you know what? That's more of an accomplishment than the guy or the gal who doesn't have to open the book, and it just comes naturally for them. So for most improved students, I want to proudly give this to Andrew Campbell.
Wow, put on the spot. You want to say anything?
No.
Sure. Me, lost for words. Imagine that. It has been an interesting year. Lots of changes. People come and gone, and we've added new ones. I gave you a small speech during midterm. You all got coins. We made them. Okay. There's a saying. Excuse me. There's a saying that means a lot to me. Okay. The dictionary is the only place you'll find success before work. Okay. You have to put in the hours. You have to put in the time to get where we are, to get where we're going to go. A friend of mine said something to me a long time ago about this job and what it means. He was my medic and my inspiration. Excuse me. And he has more kids than I do. But, and it's hard to keep. But Earl once told me something that really meant a lot to me. That was, it doesn't matter what that person called you into their family room, you're there now. You are the person they are looking to fix it. You're the person to sit there and explain it. You're the person sitting there to make a jelly sandwich because they're hypoglycemic. They need sugar. They call all the time. Okay? Like Felix said, they don't get to choose us. But when you walk in that door, you have to be that person, whatever it is that they need. And I look around at my classmates, and I see that person. We can do it. We have the passion to do it. We have the skills. Okay? Go out there, keep learning, do what you need to do what you can do. That's all that can be expected. Thank you very much.
In addition, we have class valedictorian, and this was difficult. I tell you, it was probably just a small percentage on how to figure out who was class valedictorian, because it was head-to-head with two of my students in this class, and both of which, there was a school in Melbourne that shut down, and Felix came up with this whole, I remember it was December 10th, 2014, when we got notification that this school had shut down. And he decides, because all the gray hairs on my head are based on his ideas.
Amen.
He decides, let's pick up these students, and it was from one coast to the other, because there was a campus in Melbourne and there was a campus in Tampa. And he had one idea for the Tampa students, because it was just too far of a drive for them to come to the Orlando campus. And then he was extending to the students in Melbourne to drive to Orlando to finish their course with us here. A few of them were at different points. Some students took full advantage of that, and this is the first graduating class from that group of students that did transfer in. So my hat's off to you guys, because in the middle of paramedic school, to get thrown such a wrench and still rock it out, that's amazing. So to my Melbourne people, thank you. Giving us a chance. And the two that were going head to head, but by a small percentage, who is class valedictorian, is Jack Sanders. He was always brave when it's paramedic school. Thank you.
He only has 5 more to split.
On that note, I want to start with the awards, the certificates. When I call your name, if you guys can stand over here, I was told by my audio team, #Felix. Stand right here. You can bring the youngins up if you like, I'm all about that. Not Omar's baby, which is here.
She does that to kids, Omar. My kids still crying, they're teenagers.
The first student I'd like to call out, and super congratulations, is Andrew Campbell.
Just set this side and.
Yes, that's okay. Can you you should be able to multitask. Congratulations. I think Rick, I'm sorry, Rick, I didn't call you up. I'm not going according to the program.
Oh.
Lori Eldridge. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Tracy Farmer. This was my dad's favorite. And Xavier Indar. Brandy Jones. This gentleman right here should have gone to law school, because he will argue. Matthew McCarthy. Thank you, sir. Yes, I think so. My BFF for life, Jose Mercado.
Congratulations.
My prayer warrior, Isaiah Moser. Mr. Jack Sanders. And last but not least, Omar Valentine.
That's for now. There we go.
Thank you. Thank you guys so much again for coming to this organization. We're family now. I will stay in constant contact with you guys as far as testing is concerned, jobs that are maybe coming up. And please, anything and everything that you need, especially now until you're being cleared to test, the doors are always open to you. You know, we have classes here all week long. We already have our Saturday class that's already started, so you're welcome to come and give them some advice for being here 52 days. You're welcome to do that. I will stay in constant contact with you, and please, you know how to get a hold of me, text me, whatever you need. And I think Mr. Valentine has something to say. Excuse me.
Hey guys, P33. I want to say something before we get out of here. I just want to say a couple of words of encouragement. Real short, I read a saying a while ago, and it made a lot of sense to me. It goes like this: patience and perseverance have magical effects in which difficulties disappear and obstacles vanish. Okay? Have faith in your ability, because I believe in us. P33. Let's go make marks in the world.
Again, thank you so much for coming out this evening. This concludes our ceremony. Have a great night.
All right.
Don't forget, yes,
Oh, wait, the group picture? Okay.
yes.
Hey, Matt, you want to take a picture?
He's like, bye.
Good job, Jack. I didn't really get it, man. You made it come out. By what? I know, yeah.
Hey, you want to come in closer?
Squeeze in.
Oh yeah, come on. You guys have to.
Yes. Xavier, they're yelling and you're going to take it all.
We had to, it's Halloween.
Even the.
All right, we're done.
We're done. All right. No more pictures.
Do a family picture.
Yeah. My mom wanted a picture. Don't worry, my mom wants a picture.
My family. There you go. Bring your camera. Use your camera.
It's a sticker saying I graduated.
I'm still at work, bro. It's hard.
I'll be texting you guys. Hey, what is this?
Jack, it's 3 o'clock in the morning.
The setting for steak, guys. Come on. Hey, do not do that. Come in, walk around it, and see what you I had 2 beers earlier. I went to Lucy and I only got 1 hour. Stay.